Aston Villa have been better this season and have definitely progressed, but with steps made over the last year, what are the next steps for improvement? With the transfer window coming up, you need to keep up to date with the latest rumours, which is why the sponsor for this video, OneFootball, is the best app for you to download on your phone. As I go onto Aston Villa's profile here, I can see the latest reports, and one of them here is Aston Villa monitoring Matheus Pereira. Very interesting, maybe a player that we're going to be talking about in this video. It says here that Villa are interested in signing the West Brom attacker. He's been outstanding for the Baggies this season with 9 goals and 5 assists in a struggling team. Villa are keeping tabs on the 24-year-old and may decide to make a firm offer for him in the summer. So make sure you keep up to date with all the latest reports coming out on OneFootball. You can download it by clicking the link in the description. In terms of points, Villa are one of the most improved teams in the Premier League this season. I covered this in a recent video. The only team with more points than they had at this stage last season was West Ham. So they've been better, but not much better. They've made good steps of progression which they can build on. Their form in 2021 has put a bit of a dampener on the season. With 18 league matches this year, they've only won 5 of them. And of course, a big reason for that has been the absence of Jack Grealish in 10 of those 18 matches. The creativity and unpredictability when he's in the team is suddenly removed, leaving them with a decent squad of players. But not much more than that. The core of the team has gone as Grealish is the man they're always passing to. This has to be addressed in the summer transfer window, adding depth to the squad with players that contribute to the creativity in the side. Currently in the team you have El Ghazi and Traore on the wing, so are good squad players, but not starting players, and if they are starting in a match, then they become better when the players around them are of a higher quality. By themselves though, they're not exactly chance creators, especially El Ghazi, who is someone who wants to shoot more than create. Ross Barkley hasn't been playing at a high standard either. When he joined though, he was playing 90 minutes regularly, so bringing in another winger who is a chance creator is a must for Aston Villa, and another player in the midfield who can at least offer something in the attack, as I can't see Barkley being signed permanently. Another reason to do this is so Aston Villa have better options off the bench. If Villa have been struggling in matches, then there hasn't been anyone to come off the bench and make an impact. Recently the subs that occur the most are Davies, Barkley, El Ghazi and Ramsey. To be fair to Keenan Davis, he came off the bench and scored the equaliser against West Brom recently and looked better, but Barkley, as we said, hasn't been as good. A 19-year-old Jacob Ramsey shouldn't be the player to rely on at this stage. As much promise as he shows, he should be a player that they're slowly bedding into the side to get minutes and not as an impact sub right now. So that's another thing to address, options off the bench to make a difference when Villa need a change. Before we move away from that point, maybe Wesley can become that player. He's the forgotten man at Aston Villa, however he made his return versus West Brom. In his debut season, he was in a squad that were newly promoted, getting used to this level and adapting. However, we've seen the difference this season with Villa, more of the ball and therefore creating more chances, more so when Grealish is in the side. It might be that the situation for Wesley is better with not so much pressure on him and with more chances for him to score. As a player that can come off the bench, different to Watkins with his height of 6'3", he might just be able to play a bit more of a part next season as an effective option off the bench. Before the transfer targets then, if you could please like the video, it helps the videos in getting found, and if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button, it would be very much appreciated. So let's look into the transfer market. The priorities for me are a winger, a central midfielder with a range of qualities who can help out in the attack, and then a backup fullback, either on the left or the right. Beginning with the winger then, a name which has been rumoured and I think is the best out of the reported names is Emi Buendia. He's just been promoted again with Norwich City in the Championship and he's been in great form. With 14 goals and 17 assists in 37 league matches, he's proven how well-rounded he is in terms of finishing and creating. In his time in the Premier League last season, he made his name more well-known after being one of the standout players for Norwich at the highest level. Although he only finished the season with 1 goal and 7 assists in the Premier League, that doesn't tell you the full story. More often than not, he was in the build-up to chances with 138 shot-creating actions. That's the 7th most in the league, up there with some of the Premier League's best. A part of his game which can go unnoticed is his work off the ball, with 791 attempted pressures being the 9th most in the Premier League. For Villa, this is perfect. To have his work rate alongside Ollie Watkins pressing the opposition, they find themselves with 2 energetic players high up the pitch. They wouldn't be short of chances being created then. With Grealish and Buendia in the side, you have 2 fantastic chance creators. Will he leave Norwich though, and will it be Villa that he joins, as many teams I'm sure are interested? Well, Norwich will of course want a big fee for him now they've got promotion. From the player's point of view, I think the prospect of joining Aston Villa, who have had a better season, looks stable in the Premier League, and playing in an overall better first 11 is something he would like. What Villa are also able to do now is prove that European European football is a possibility. With how they've performed in the league, they can use it as persuasion for Buendia and other players to join the club. And with the players' help, it might just be what Villa need to push into those positions. If this is what was proposed to Buendia, I think he'd be right up for the challenge. However, there may be clubs already in a European competition that are interested, which can become difficult. In midfield, I think Villa should look for someone quite well-rounded, who can influence the attack but aren't exactly a pure attacking midfielder. A box-to-box midfielder really. One recommendation would be Cheick Doucoure playing at Lens in Ligue 1. He's been playing as a defensive midfielder, but he's definitely got the ability to be a box-to-box player. Strong in defence, 75 tackles won along with 44 interceptions. He had a fantastic game in January against Montpellier where he won 4 tackles and made 6 interceptions. He scored a goal from outside the box and got an assist, as well as 2 key passes, 3 accurate long balls from 3 attempted. It was a dominating match by Doucoure, who showed he can be more than just a defensive midfielder. Now, he's had some links to some top Premier League clubs previously, but I think it's a transfer that Aston Villa could do. As a player to give a bit of everything in the midfield with energy while keeping the defensive structure that Villa have had this season, I think Doucoure or a player similar to him would be good for Villa this summer. Finally, I think a backup at either left back or right back is needed. They don't have a good replacement in this position at the moment to make a difference, and they're both in their 30s now. A player they could look to bring in is Nuno Tavares from Benfica. He's currently being linked to Newcastle United, and it seems a move for him this summer is very likely. A reported price of around £13 million for him would be perfect for a rotation player. A really forward-thinking fullback with speed and full of skills with the mindset of taking the opposition on. I feel like he'd love making overlapping runs and linking up with Jack Grealish on the left flank. A player to watch this summer, I believe he moves somewhere, and I think Villa should be in the market for him. One player that has been linked to Villa this summer is Tammy Abraham, who was on loan to them when they were in the Championship. He was fantastic for them then, and I believe he can go somewhere next season and score a load of goals for whoever he plays for. But he won't come at a cheap price, and I don't think a striker is a priority for Villa as they need to strengthen in other areas. Transfer budget might be limited this season, so I don't see Villa realistically signing Abraham. It depends on how much they do have to spend though, as I think Dean Smith would love to have him back. If he did join, maybe they could try something different and have him as the striker, Ollie Watkins on the left where he's played before, with Grealish in a central position. But even though Watkins can play there, I do think he prefers being the striker now. It could work. Let me know what you think in the comments if this was the forward line. Other players that I've seen Villa fans would like to see join are Alan Saint-Maximin and Matheus Pereira. With Saint-Maximin, I really believe it'd be a brilliant signing, however I don't see it as one they could do. Newcastle will want a big fee for him, and he'll be getting interest from elsewhere too. I also think that he can play for a club in a European competition and at a higher level, so I think that one becomes a bit tricky for Aston Villa. Matheus Pereira, however, is a realistic target, and it seems very likely now that he is going to be relegated to the Championship with West Brom. In a team that's a little more attacking, he can thrive and show his technical ability. He has 9 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League this season, and he had 8 goals and 20 assists in the Championship last season. He's going to be wanting a move away, so I think a deal this summer for him is definitely on the cards. Is it to Aston Villa though? Let me know what you think about signing Matheus Pereira. Now let's say Villa were able to sign Pereira, Buendia and Doucoure. Whether that's realistic or not, you can let me know. But with 2 wingers, it allows you to put Grealish in a central position. The creativity you then have in this team is phenomenal, and you've still got the off-the-ball pressure from Watkins and Buendia up top. You're fixing the lack of creativity that is in the squad when you're missing Grealish, and then imagine Tavares on the bench with Wesley being the impact sub, Morgan Sanson being the other midfielder, Trezeguet, Traore and El Ghazi along with the 2 new wingers would be a lot, so if that was to happen, maybe one of them leaves. Comment below who you think Aston Villa should sign this summer. I recommend that you don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.